If you gaze far across the lake, you may see several water towers. In the Yahara Watershed, all of our drinking water comes from the groundwater below our feet and is often stored in these towers. In urban areas, large groundwater pumps bring water up from deep beneath the Earth's surface. In rural areas, private wells provide a similar service, though they access more shallow reserves of groundwater. We can see groundwater when it comes to the surface in the form of a groundwater spring.
Behind me there, this is called the Council Ring Spring. This is a groundwater spring that's one of many springs that feeds Lake Wingra. Springs are interesting places for hydrogeology because this is where groundwater is discharging and feeding the lakes. And most of the Madison, really all the Madison lakes have springs going into them at one place or another.
One major concern with groundwater is water quantity. But don't worry, this doesn't mean Yahara Watershed residents are going to be running out of drinking water anytime soon.
Very water rich. And sometimes we have water shortages, but that's more of a delivery problem. Maybe in the afternoon everyone starts watering their lawn or something like that. The water utility might not be able to keep up with the pumps. In other words, they may not have enough pumping capacity to supply that water, but there's plenty of water underground.
So what is the issue with water quantity if there's so much water down there?
When we start pumping, the first things to dry up would be things like the spring. So if the spring was to dry up, that affects the amount of water in Lake Wingra. It affects the temperature because this water is very cold. Groundwater is coming out of probably around 10 degrees centigrade year-round. So that's an important control on temperature of surface water features. So that will affect the lake water temperature, and that's important to the different fish and animals that live in the lake. So it's all a system. So if you start changing one thing, it ripples through.
Wisconsin scientists are working to better understand the effects of groundwater pumping.
Here in Dane County, we're working on a groundwater flow model of the entire county. A groundwater flow model is a computerized simulator that will simulate groundwater movement through our different aquifers. It simulates all the pumping wells, it simulates the lakes and the springs, and it helps us understand how everything is connected in one system. And that can be used, for example, to understand how much a well could be pumped, what would be the impact of a new well somewhere, what would be the impact of changing the lake levels, how would that affect the groundwater nearby. So a model can be used to test different management scenarios.
Though we aren't concerned with running out of drinking water in the Yahara Watershed, it is still important to conserve water. As we pump more groundwater, less water is available to feed groundwater springs, which are important in maintaining lake, stream, and wetland ecosystems. Let's talk. How do you conserve water? What more can you do?